Would you like to one-shot a named gold NPC? Would you like to shred through a gold heavy with one clip? Or maybe would you like to go to the underground and tackle the crazy chainsaw guy and comfortably shred through him? If that's the case, you've come to the right place. Let me introduce the Damage to Elite PVE Shredder build. So, since PVE has been a massive hit in Division 2, I thought why not share the build that I've been using. You know, it hits like an absolute truck and I absolutely love it. Now if you're like me and you're the type of player who sometimes come on and you're playing solo and you want to give the challenging missions a go, or you want to do some challenging HVTs, then this build is really perfect for you. Now, as you can see, I've run damage to elites on everything. On the backpack we also have Safeguard, on the chest we have Berserk, and on the knee pads we have Patience. Now after I show you a bit about this build, I'll show you also a good example of how these three talents complement each other. Now first of all, to make a build like this, you need to make sure that you have 5 or less offensive attributes or talents. Otherwise, everything that I use on the build, it won't work. So make sure you have 5 or less offensive attributes or talents. So starting off with the mask, we have a DNH mask. We have 33% damage to elites and just over 3000 health. Then we also have the talent damage to elites. Now just on the mask alone, I have 48% damage to elites, so that's a really nice mask. Now paired with the DNH mask, we have the DNH holster. Now this has 14% crit chance. Now like I say, I wanted the build to hit hard. I don't want it just to be a tank build, and I lose a lot of damage attributes by rolling damage to elites on the talent. So having the crit chance is really important as the attribute on your holster. So the 2 DNH, it works quite nice, you know, it gives me 10% extra crit damage. Now I know it's really hard in the division to get the desired pieces, so if you can't get the 2 DNH, you could also have maybe the 2 Providence. See, I've got one there, that's even got more damage to elites on the attribute. But you know, if you want it to be a bit more tankier, you can get the 8% health off the Providence instead of the 10% crit hit damage. Now going on to the vest, we have a Feminist vest. Now this gives us the bonus of assault rifle damage. That's because dominantly I will be using an assault rifle. Now also it gives us 10% protection from elites. Now on top of the fact that I'm going to be using the survivalist specialist, it totals to 25% protection from elites. It's pretty nice. Now the attributes on the chest are going to be critical hit damage, 15,000 bonus armor, which is really high, and then 5,000 health. Now the 2 talents we have the damage to elites, of course, and then we have the Berserk. Now I'm sure many of you have heard about the Berserk talent. It's really strong at the minute and it's recommended for most builds. It gives us 10% weapon damage for every 10% armor depleted. So I will, again, I'll show you the screenshot later on of how high we can get that assault rifle damage when we have no armor. Now onto the knee pads. These are another Feminist piece. Now although the 10% protection from elite is nice, you know, I could change it up, but the reason I use these knee pads is because they're the only ones I can find with 2 talents on. Now we have just under 6,000 health on the attribute. We obviously have the damage to elite, and then it's the Patience talent. Now this is a brilliant talent, and it really does pair well with this build. So when you're in cover, after being in cover for 3 seconds, your armor is repaired by 5% every 1 second, and I will show you an example of that later on. Now finally, they're the sets out the way. Now the gloves are going to be Gila gloves, which give us the 5% total armor. These are going to have health rolled as an attribute, and then assault rifle damage, and then also damage to elites. The backpack is going to be Murakai. That gives us the 8% health increase. Now the attributes, we're going to have health, skill power and bonus armor. Then for the talents, it's got the safeguard. Now this pairs really well with the patience, which is on the knee pads, and this is why I was saying at the start of the video, it's a talent like this, you need to make sure you've got 5 or less offensive attributes or talents, otherwise you won't be able to unlock it. But basically, it's killing a target grants 150% bonus to repairing and healing, and it lasts for 20 seconds. Now I will show you the example of that later. Now moving on to the weapons, my weapon of choice is the custom P416. I also sometimes use the G36. They're both very similar, you know, it's one has a higher rate of fire, one has a higher base damage, but they're both really nice guns. It's the talents that matter, and as you can see on both of them, I have strained. Now strained is really nice for this build because I have to spec into so much damage to elites. I can't really spec into much weapon damage, i.e. crit chance, crit damage. So strained works really well for this build. And what it does is it gives you a plus 10% critical hit damage for every 5% armor that is depleted. Now that really does give us a buff in critical hit damage, and it works really well. Now we have stable, just a standard talent, and then also protected deploy. This is one of my favourite third talents on a gun. It gives you 10% bonus armor while deploying a skill. It's really, really nice. I tend to use the sniper. Now my sniper's nothing special, it's just the sniper I've used all along in the game. But range is a really nice talent for a sniper. You get 2% weapon damage for every 5 meters you're away from the target. I have extra magazine capacity, which is pointless, it gives me like 1 extra bullet. And stop, drop and roll, this is really nice in PVE because the fire in this game is ridiculous. The fire can kill you instantly. So having stop, drop and roll, you basically roll around, you know, you do the roly-poly and it gets rid of the fire. Pretty simple. So yeah, that is the build. I have just under 180,000 armor. I have 62,000 health and then just over 1,000 skill power. But the pistol, nothing special. I have greased, which is quite nice though. You know, the weapon swap speed is increased by 10%. Now over to the stat sheet. Now as you can see right there on me offense, I have 133% damage to elites, and then I have 36% crit chance, and I only have 40% crit hit damage, but that's mainly because I've had to spec into damage to elites. But still, with having the damage to elites in PvE, it really does hit harder. And not to forget, I have the strained on my assault rifle, which gives me 10% increased critical hit damage, so I don't really notice the decrease, to be honest. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The skills, I use the chem launcher, and I would use the revive hive, but it never seems to work. I don't know if it's a bug, it just doesn't work. Apart from the damage to elites, which I've got on the pieces, I've also on my weapon, if you look at my weapon, I gain an extra 10% damage to elites after muzzle break. But I have crit chance, I have a crit chance scope, and then obviously I have the extended magazine. Yeah, so now let me just show you a few examples of how these 3 talents Safeguard, Berserk and Patience complement each other in a really nice way. So first off, I just want to show you how strong the 150% bonus to repairing and healing is by using Safeguard. Let's just get this NPC to knock me armor off. Then I'll kill the NPC and you'll see that it procs Safeguard. Now just one chem launcher puts me back up to full armor. So it is really, really nice, and it really works well with this build. Next is Patience, which we have rolled on the knee pads. Now let me just damage myself and take some of my armor away. There we go. And then what you need to do is you need to get into cover, and then after 3 seconds you'll see the little turtle shell pop up, and that means Patience is active. Now this will replenish your armor by 5% every second. Now when you pair this with Safeguard, this really does make it so efficient, and it gives you the maximum armor rehabilitation in PVE. So they were the two unique defensive talents that I use in the build. Now as you can see by the screenshot, this is the third talent, Berserk. This is the offensive talent I use. So not only are we efficient to get our armor back, but also if we don't have armor, you know, we do double damage on our assault rifle. And how I like to play it is sometimes when I'm sat in cover and I'm at half armor, the less armor I'm at, the more damage I know I'm going to do. It works really, really well with this PvE build. So yeah, this is my super strong PvE build with 4 unique talents. You have Strained on the assault rifle, you have Safeguard on the backpack, you have Berserk on the chest, and you have Patience on the knee pads. Now, if anyone has any questions or you have any trouble making the build, be sure to drop a comment down below and I'll get back to you and I'll help you out as much as I can. But thanks for watching. Enjoy building, enjoy playing the Division 2, and until next time, I'll see you later.